Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I have a lovely model. Do you want to introduce yourself? This is my model Charlie. So basically what I'm going to do is this look that I created on this eye, I'm going to do it on the other side, and then we're going to do the skin. So I was going to talk you step by step through the look. It's a really nice blown out smoky eye with a little bit of pigment, and it's actually inspired by one of the TikToks that got put up recently. So I'll leave a little link for that below as well. So first of all, I'm just going to take some 96 under eye concealer, and I'm just going to carve out the brow. So close down for me. Just not want to get it in your lashes. So I'm just using a 26T brush. Basically this is like a flat synthetic brush, so it's really good for getting a nice precise line. So I've already popped a little bit of our 03 brow mascara in, so I'm not going to use any more product on the eye. So I've literally just combed the brow mascara through. Charlie has like good lashes anyway, so she doesn't need, brows, good brows. She doesn't need like much extra, so do that on. And then this is just going to prep the eye. I'm just going to set it and then start with the eyeshadows. So now I'm just setting the eye with 503 Sculpt. I usually set the eye for like using any browns, because I feel like sometimes the browns can catch and like change colour if the base is like too wet. So I always go in and set it. So I use 503 Sculpt, and now I'm going to use 66 AMC powder, which is like a face powder, but I usually use it just to kind of deepen up the crease a little bit before I go in with my browns. And I'm using quite a big brush for that. It's a 4SS, so it's not necessary, but it covers the area quicker. So I'm going to take a 507 Sculpt. This is just going to go into the crease. I'm just using a 48SS for this one. And it's like a really nice fluffy blending brush. So I'm just going into the crease, blending, and then I'm just going to blend it out at the sides as well. So I like this look kind of like blown out, like really blown out smoke effect. So this is into the crease, and then you are blending up quite far up to near the brow. And then we'll go in with 511 Sculpt just to deepen that up a little bit. So that's just blending right into the crease to the eyeball. So it's nice and winged out and elongated. This is like a good tip for if you wanted to make your eye look a little bit bigger as well. I'm just going in with a little bit of 305 eyeshadow. I'm just going to pop that all along the lash line. Just tilt your this way. This going, no. This is going along the lash line and into the crease. Just keeping it kind of mainly into the corner of the socket, but like kind of on the lid as well. Now I'm going to go in with a little bit of pigment. So I'm going to use 124 pigment. Okay, so I'm just going to take a little bit of some face and body adhesive, just patting it onto the brush, and then just going to put it on the lid. So if you just keep your eye closed for this bit, and that on, making sure there's like an even layer the whole way across the lid. And then what I'm going to do is pop the pigment starting from just past the inner corner, so that kind of most of your product starts from beside the inner corner and then disperses out into the shadow on the edges. And for that I'm using a fluffy blending brush, which kind of like disperses the product a little bit nicer and more even, whereas when you use a flat brush it can kind of pack it on and give it like a foiled look. So I prefer something that's a little bit more loose. And you do get a little bit of fallout in this bit, so I would recommend doing skin last for something like this, especially with like a pigment. And that's just going all over the lid. So now I'm just going to take a wipe, if you just look up for me. I'm just going to wipe away that product. So I'm just going to take some 96 under eye concealer. I'm just going to pop this underneath the eyes, because I've already done the under eye of this one. But I just like to have the concealer set underneath the eye so that I can go in with my shadows and it has something to cling to, because otherwise it'll start to like lift, it won't stay that long. So I'm just patting that concealer on using a 41TG brush. This is like a dual fibre. It's really good for like under, and I don't want to do it too bright, so I've actually mixed a tiny bit of like a darker foundation in with the concealer, just to give a little bit more colour. So now I'm going to go in with a little bit of liner, just close down for me. And this is just going to go along the top lash line, just a very small bit. And then I'm going to smoke it out with some brown shadow. This is the black kohl pencil. Just going to take a 9S brush, so that 305 goes down. So now I'm just going to spritz a little bit of Refreshing Face Mist onto my 10S and then take a little bit of 118 pigment that in Charlie's inner corner. So like if you wet the brush and then like buff it in, it makes like a really nice highlight, and it's a little bit more intense. So I'm just going to take some HD primer. This is because Charlie has like combination skin. I'm going to just use some all covered foundation. So this is like a really nice dewy. I'm just popping on a little bit of 15 loose powder. This type of foundation I recommend setting just because it is that little bit more dewy. It will still look dewy, but it's just what I feel works best with this foundation. So the loose powder is like a little bit more of a matte powder, but because it's such a dewy foundation, they just kind of balance each other out nicely. So now I'm going to take JLo Sculpt and a little bit of 60 bronzer. Now I'm just going to take some 40 blusher. It's like a reddy brown with I'm going to use 52 Soft Sparkler. .02 Sparkling Dust. So just going in with a little bit of 854 lip liner. It's like a really nice browny mauvey tone. You like mauvey tone? Mm-hmm. And then I'm going to just use some 51 lip paint. Okay, so that is the finished look. I've just done like my classic bronzy, smoky, gold brown eye look on Charlie. Do you like it? I love it. Do you? So I've done like full coverage, really highlighted, dewy, bronzy, smoky, highlighted, bronzy, dewy, smoky. That kind of vibe. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you do have any questions, please leave them in the comments, and thank you for watching. Bye!